Hey everybody. So I'm coming to you right now from River Falls, Wisconsin. This is over on the western side of Wisconsin, not so far from the Twin Cities. Now, if you look behind me, you can see this really big ravine. The South Kinnickinnick River runs down at the bottom of that, and there's this really big area you have to cross from one side to the other. So in 1898, the city of River Falls bought the woods that were over on the other side of that ravine. It was called Palace Woods at the time, and they changed the name to Glen Park because of the little glen that's down at the bottom of the ravine. So they'd build some bridges that people could cross along there. They built shelters. They even had a zoo over there for a while. So this is a recreational area that River Falls wanted to use. The problem was that spring floods would come down this ravine and wipe out all the bridges they had. So in 1925, they decided to build this much bigger bridge, a suspension bridge. So this has now been here almost 100 years, making it easy to get from River Falls over to Glen Park. If you look on the left side railing, you can see that it's not just humans that appreciate this bridge to help them get where they need to go. So the reason I came to this ravine and this bridge is because I want to talk to you today about the process of how you overcome conflict. Now, when you're in the middle of conflict, it can feel like you've got this really big ravine between you and the other person. You know what they're doing is hurting you and it's painful, and they're feeling the same way, and you can't figure out how to get out of it. So just like River Falls had to build a bridge to overcome their ravine, dealing with conflict is a way of building a bridge for us to be able to deal with something more productively than just fighting or letting the conflict go on and on. So step one in overcoming conflict is putting yourself in a position where you can build a mental bridge. Remember, if your emotions are too high and you're in the middle of conflict, that's not really the time to deal with it. You just need to get out of the situation and deal with it at a better time. Now, the second step to overcoming conflict is to own what you did. Remember, conflict is two ways. You can't just say, hey, the other person's at fault, I'm not to blame. You have to own what part you did. You need to look in the mirror. Without that, you won't have a sturdy enough bridge to stand on, and things will all come tumbling down later. Now, the third step to overcoming conflict is to stand in the middle of the bridge. Not only looking at your side of the problem, of where you're saying, here, why this is a problem for me, but you have to be able to look at the other person's side as well and see where they're coming from. If you both have conflict that's two ways, there's probably a reason you're both acting the same way you are. You have to get out of just the way you see things and be able to look at their perspective to sort of meet right here in the middle. So all three things I mentioned are not easy things to do. Being aware of your emotions is kind of tricky at times. Being able to have to own what you did and take responsibility is not always easy. Being able to see something from somebody else's perspective is a little bit tricky. But you need all three of these if you're going to overcome conflict. The good news is you don't have to do this alone. If you're having a problem building a bridge, go ahead and reach out to Mr. Murray. Reach out to an adult. Reach out to somebody who you trust who can help you get on solid footing to start building this up for you. So, conflict's a reality. We've got it. But guess what? We can build bridges. We can do that together. So today's challenge is to build a bridge next time you find yourself in the middle of conflict. To build that bridge, you need to 1. Get emotionally ready for what may be a tough conversation. 2. Own what you did to create the conflict. And number 3, work to see and understand both sides of the conflict so that you can find common ground. So in your classes right now, please explain to a partner why you think each one of those 3 steps is important. And then, when it's your time to listen, please actively listen to what the others are saying. So just like this bridge has lasted almost 100 years and is going strong because they took the time to do it right, if you learn how to resolve conflict, that's a skill you'll need your whole life long. All right, you take care.